Once you gain access to the best gear in the Endgame of V Rising, everything pretty much becomes a walk in the park. You can take care of high-level V-Blood bosses and farm Rift Incursions with ease, while the best weapons, armor and jewels will also give you huge advantages in PvP. Well guys, it's your man 4 I'm back with a new endgame guide for V Rising, in which I'm going to share everything you want to know, from unlocking legendary armor and crafting tier 4 jewels. This video will prepare you to get everything best in slots and become the most feared vampire of Vardaran. Let's get right to it. Alright, so here we are back in our vampire castle. If you're still looking for an amazing endgame caster build, guys, be sure to check out mine in the top right of the screen. It absolutely destroys V-Blood bosses and late game incursions. But let's start off with the armor sets. How you can get your hands on the best in slot legendary pieces. You want to focus on these bosses. The first one, the Winged Horror in the south. We've got Solaris the Immaculate in the west. We have Adam the Firstborn in the north, and we also have Dracula in the new ruins of Morsham to the east. If we check out the menu right here, you can see that after you've taken out Tulzer, you will get access to the blueprints for the gloves. We get the boots from Solaris the Immaculate, the leg guards from Adam the Firstborn, and Dracula the Immortal King will give you access to the chest guard. These can all be found at the tailoring bench, and of course you can craft them in different varieties depending on your playstyle or build. I would focus on the Maleficer set, as this one comes with a whole lot of spell, critical strike chance, life leech, etc. While of course for melee builds, I think the Grim set is amazing because it comes with attack speed, maximum HP and weapon skill. Life leech would be amazing for my Axe build, which I shared earlier as well. You're gonna need both Bat Leather and Shadow Weave, which can be produced at the Advanced Loom and also the Tannery right here. So this is where we can combine both Ghost Yarn and Silk to make the Shadow Weave. Of course, you're gonna have to unlock everything for that first. And then we also have the Advanced Tannery, where we can combine both Bat Hide and Pristine Leather into Bat Leather. Very important, guys, you don't want to wait until you've unlocked the entire Dracula set. Even one piece can already make a huge difference to your build, make it a whole lot more powerful. Say you're really struggling with Adam the Firstborn and it's impossible to get your hands on that Dracula leggings blueprint, just focus on both the Winged Horror and Solaris. You will already have access to 2 set parts, which also come with a bonus. Well, with 2 parts, we already have a nice bonus. For the Maleficer, it's a spell life leech, while for the Grim Boots, let's say, it increases our physical power. Of course, the more set parts, the better the bonuses, but in general, the HP increment is insane. If we look at the leggings right here, it's 218, while if we check out the previous tier, it's 187. So definitely things to think about if you want to better prepare for the highest level bosses and of course start unlocking the final blueprints. If you want to make short work of these V-Blood bosses, by the way, be sure to check out my builds in the top right of the screen. Both caster build for ranged and an axe build for melee, which I think make these a lot easier. Next up, we have the jewels. Some of you guys were wondering, where can you unlock tier 4 jewels, as of course these make your build a lot more powerful with plenty of bonuses. If we open up the map, well, this is where you want to go, to the new ruins of Morsham zone, where of course you have these incursion events, but specifically the North Fortress ruins is where you will find General Valencia the Depraved. This lady will give you access to tier 4 or primal jewels, but also the Shadow Weave required to craft that armor, and also a nice tier 3 blood spell points. To craft these top tier jewels, you're gonna have to get your hands on certain materials. These require flawless gems, but also Greater Stygian Shards. These are a reward for participating in these Rift Incursion events. As you can see, the tier 2s have Greater Stygian Shards as a reward, high-level jewels as well, but also the chance of finding ancestral weapons while you're completing these events. Anyways, let's move on to the Rift Incursions, as this is what you want to focus on to not only get your hands on those Stygian Shards, which you're going to need to craft the top-tier jewels, Greater Stygian Shards, but also find legendary or shattered weapon pieces, which you can then forge into the best weapons in the game. So this is where we took out a higher value V-Blood target at the very end of the event, which drops a whole lot of Stygian Shards, but there we go. Also found a shattered weapon, which we want to bring to the Ancestral Forge. We also found a jewel right here, but these usually are tier 3 jewels, so not the ones you want to have. Instead, you want to keep these Greater Stygian Shards with you to basically craft those best crystals in the game. So once you farmed a nice amount of shards, the tier 2 Greater Stygian Shards, you want to move to the Vampire Merchants, which can be found in the ruins of Morsham, both in the south right here, but also one in the north. These come with either the level 20 Shattered Weapons or the level 30, and their stock also refreshes after X amount of time. So this Vampire Merchants right here gives us access to all the level 30 Shattered or Ancestral weapons, for which you're gonna need those Greater Stygian Shards. And every time you purchase the weapon of your choosing, you will get a random roll. So let's just purchase like 5 of these. Wow, we were pretty lucky. Anyways, let's do it a couple more times. So the first one, Inscribed Brand Giver, comes with physical power, physical crit chance, spell crit chance, and also damage reduction. While the secondary one comes with some movement speed. We've got one with bonus spell power, and all of these also come with a different name. So some might be better or worse for your specific build. Focus on that, while of course you also have a chance of finding legendaries while you're at it. And we were pretty lucky. Check it out. The Morning Star comes with 2 crazy ability modifications right here. And the secondary one, also a Morning Star. But man, you can tell that this is really the type of whip you want to focus on. So these aren't exclusive to the merchants. You can also find the drops during a Rift Incursion event or Endgame V Blood bosses. Of course, if you want to forge these shattered or legendary weapons, you have to bring them to an ancestral forge. So if we throw it in there, we're gonna need both Onyx tiers and the Sanguine variant of the whip to basically craft this one. Voila, there we go. We got our hands on that sweet level 30 Morning Star, which unfortunately cannot be upgraded afterwards. So you can pretty much consider this to be the absolute best weapon or best in slot item to get your hands on. The final tip I can give you guys related to legendary weapons is that this farm is probably gonna take a whole lot of time before you finally find the perfect legendary roll, let's say. So just keep your eyes open for these purple ones, as the chances are much higher you will first come across one of those with decent stats. That's the reason why I'm still working with this Punisher's Steel Flail. I mean, it comes with spell critical strike chance, comes with spell life leech, so it's gonna be a whole lot more interesting compared to a legendary variant which comes with melee stats, let's say. I'm not really using these abilities a lot in the first place. I primarily focus on spellcasting, so you don't necessarily need that legendary roll. But long story short, this specific whip is better for my specific build versus the legendary variant, as of course it comes with those spellcaster bonuses. Alright, so there you have it. Everything you need to know to get your hands on the absolute best weapons and armor in the game, with of course those top tier jewels. If you enjoyed the content, it would be amazing if you can leave a like and of course share your thoughts in the comments down below. Maybe you will have some more questions or suggestions for future videos. They're very welcome in the comments as well. Anyways, I have plenty more guides on the channel. Be sure to check them out if you want to know more about the end game, not only guides but also builds. Right now, though, it's 4 AM out. I want to wish you an amazing day. I'll check you in the next video or live stream. Peace.